Microsoft Excel 2016 tutorials. Level 1. If you are completely new to Microsoft Excel, then this is a very great place for you to start. In this our very first lesson, we are going to look at how we can create our first Excel workbook or document, name it and save it to a desired location. So click the Windows logo icon, then type Excel. You can see it in the search result, or scroll through the applications. So you can click the letter over here and go to the E column, then you can see Excel. Double click to launch it. Now we are going to start with a blank workbook, so select this. So the window you are seeing now is the Excel window, and the file that is open right now is the Excel workbook. By default, Excel has named it Book 1, but this is not the name we want to give to our document. So we click File or click the Save button here. Any of them, go to File and click Save or Save As. For the first time, they will all behave the same. So I'll click here. It will bring me to the Save As. Then select the location. So I click the desktop. Then click inside the file name and name your file like you want. I'm going to call it my first workbook. My first workbook. Then press save. Now you can see that our name has changed to my first workbook. But there seems to be a mistake in our spelling, so we close this and we go to the location where we save our file, right click on it, then go to rename, and now you can do your correction, or if you want to give us a complete name, you can change the name now, then press enter. Now we can open this file again by double clicking on it from the desktop. Now here we are. You can see that our correction is now done. So far we've seen how to create an Excel document, how to name it, and how to rename it. Now the next thing we are going to look at is how to create and name or rename a worksheet. So this is our Excel workbook, and like any other book, sheets are found in the book. So by default we have sheet 1 over here. We can add so many sheets to this book. So if you click the new sheet or the plus sign over here, you will get a new sheet. So you have added a new sheet to the first one, and you have gotten 2 sheets now. You can create another sheet and another sheet. So if you click here, it will take you to the respective sheet. Now let's look at how we can rename it. Just click on it and right click, then go to rename. Now let's say we want to call this customers record. Customers record. So if you are a salesperson, you can use Excel to keep records of your daily sales. And if you are a teacher also, you can use Microsoft Excel to keep records of your students' tests, of your students' test scores. So students' results. Student results. If you are undertaking a research, you can use Excel to keep record of your data. So let's say this is post test results. Post test results. Then let's call this pre-test results. Now you can move this around to switch their positions. So far we've learned how to create new sheets in a workbook and how to navigate the sheets. Getting to know columns, rows, and cells. If I click this, you can see that this whole column is selected. If I click this too, the whole columns are selected. You realize that letters are used to name the columns. Then for the rows, numbers are used to name the rows. Then if I click inside one of the boxes, you see that a column is highlighted and a row is also highlighted, meaning that this is the intersection of column B and row 4. The same to applies if I click in this cell. So the intersection of a cell and the intersection of a column and a row is what we call a cell. Now notice that when I wanted to select the whole column, I move my cursor until it turns a down arrowhead. Then I click. So if I want to select another one too, I make sure I move my cursor until it turns a down arrowhead and the name of that column is highlighted or activated. Then I can click to select it. If I want to select multiple columns, I hold down the Control key, then I move to the one that I want to select until it turns a down arrowhead. I click. So the columns are selected. Multiple columns are selected. If I want to select a row, the same thing applies. Observe that I move the cursor until it turns to a right arrowhead and the name of the row, the name of that row is activated or highlighted before I click. If you don't do that, it won't select the whole row. What if I want to select some aspect of a column or a row, you just have to move your cursor to where you want to start from, then hold down the left button, then move to select the required number of cells in a column. You can also select the required number of cells in a row. You can also select a whole region of cells. So far we've gotten to know what rows, columns, and cells are. Navigating the Excel window. So this is the Excel window, and you realize that by default you are taken to cell A1, or when you launch Microsoft Excel, cell A1 is activated or selected. Now notice that the name of every cell is shown in the name box. So if I click this, you see that the name box is now F8. Now if you want to, how do we navigate in Microsoft Excel? We can navigate from one cell to another by just clicking in the cell. We can also use the arrow keys. So move right, press the right arrow key, move down, the down arrow key, move to the left arrow key, move up, the up arrow key. So that is how we can move around cells from one cell to the other. You can use the horizontal bar here to navigate the columns. So we can move. Then also to navigate the rows, we use the vertical bar over here. We can move down. So these are the navigation bars for us, both horizontal and vertical. So as at now, we are in DF39. If you want to go back to our default position, which is A1, we can select the name box and type A1 over there. Press enter, then we are back to our default position. Another way of doing that is if you are in any cell and you want to go back to the default position, you press the Ctrl plus Home key. So Ctrl Home, then we come back to our default cell, which is cell A1. Another way of navigating the Excel window is to use the page keys. So if you press the page down, you notice how it moves by margins, wider margins. Then you can also use the page up to move up. So far you've seen how to navigate the Excel window. In our next lesson, we are going to consider how to enter data into Microsoft Excel.